Human trafficking is the recruitment, harboring, transportation, provision, or obtaining of a person for labor or services through the use of force, fraud, or coercion for the purpose of subjection to involuntary servitude, pension, debt, bondage, or slavery. Sex trafficking is defined separately and allows for only minors who are involved in the commercial sex industry to be considered a human trafficking victim. There are many more human trafficking victims than criminals who are prosecuted. Human trafficking cases often occur on a wide spectrum, with law enforcement and prosecutors typically determining how a trafficking case will proceed. If prosecuted, criminal cases can take years to complete. Victims may be expected to appear in court years after a crime occurs. However, they often require assistance with housing, finding a job, or counseling service before then. Identifying a victim is vital in order to make sure that they receive the proper attention that they need. If a victim is not identified through law enforcement, they will most likely not receive the services that they need. As soon as a human trafficking victim is identified, crisis services, interpreters, and medical services may be necessary to meet the victim's needs. Victims often require a long-term service as well. This may include assistance with housing, drug addiction, legal consultation, job skill training, job placement, and general life skills. Many victims have trouble getting into housing facilities due to the lack of availability, which makes it difficult for victims to reintegrate into society. Victims may even struggle finding jobs due to their criminal record. Some may even turn to legal work to make ends meet. This reinforces the cycle of human trafficking. Turning to family may fail to meet the hopes and expectations of victims because they may not fully understand their past situation. Victims may be hesitant to share their experiences with family because they may have seen themselves as a disappointment. Any victim of human trafficking that have experienced severe forms of trafficking and meet the requirements that are described in the federal definition can receive benefits and services that are administered through NGOs. There are several NGOs that place their endless efforts within the anti-trafficking sphere. Futures Without Violence, as well as Sanctuary for Families, are only two of the very many services that help victims rebuild their lives in advocating for change. Additional interventions and services can include group therapy that help victims share common stories and build healthier relationships. It is important to acknowledge that many men and women are unaware of their lives outside of trafficking, so the thought about a different life can seem impossible. Becca Stevens says, "Law and programs are necessary for recovery, but people heal because of a community that loves." Addressing the recovery process for human trafficking victims is essential in ensuring that they are able to lead healthy and happy futures. Because of the complexity of human trafficking and the many forms it can take, victims' needs can fall along a broad spectrum of provisions. Due to the various needs from the countless human trafficking victims, services that are utilized must be created to reach the needs of many.